Alright, dude, check this out. So my hair's not cooperating, don't look at it, but this is my cost calculator. Essentially, every single job can have a cost associated with it, and it should, because we have hours that we put into it, we use certain property like vehicles or anything like that, but the idea is that you click new cost, and let's say that this is job for guesswork. We would say that we worked 8 hours, and whatever vehicles we used, we're able to break that down into the standard daily rate. Where if we had a sedan, its daily rate is $10.42. If we're using the home office, its daily rate is $102. And then if we're using the insurance as incidentals, or any of the buzz saws, which were pretty expensive, that's a daily rate of $10.42. Put it all over to your daily rate, and that shows how much it costs you for this job. Because we used 8 hours, we're able to divide that by 8 hours and get our total cost. Because it's a single day, that's what a single day is. But if we put it into 40 hours over here, you'll see that the total cost goes up to about $7.50, where our daily rate and hourly rate is still the same. But if we wanted to get profit, we even have a system to put into a 50% profit to see the difference between markup and profit. That is a very big one. If you haven't seen the video on that, I have a video on that probably somewhere. Markup is literally just times whatever you want, so times 1.5, you're just adding 50% on top of it. Profit is you're profiting 50% from your cost. It's very different. You'll see that you can't profit 100%. Oops, that's time. Can't profit 100% because there's always costs associated with it. So if you did 99, you have a 99% profit. You can get pretty crazy with the profit. But the way that this works is using set prices where if you had your vehicle, you would say that for 5 years it costs $10,000. Divide that to find your yearly cost, and then because everything in manufacturing and remodeling, we do 192 days. That's 48 weeks out of the year, working 4 days a week. That gives us 1 day to focus on admin stuff that actually runs the business. So every rate that you're going to see is divided by 192 to give us our daily rate for actually using that service. I put in 365 just because I wanted to see what it was year round, but those don't go into the calculation. They're just to see. So incidentals, you can put any incidental in here, it'll do the same thing. So if we were to say permits, we could say that their yearly cost for permits are $3,500. You can see the daily rate applies, and if we were to come up to the incidentals and add permits, we'd be able to see how many how much the permits are costing for this job. We want to get into it, we can open up the job, see the same thing like we saw come down here. And if we had somebody on our team like Bradley Hubbard, we'll say Jimmy Dean and Bradley Hubbard right here. Starting off with Jimmy Dean, if Jimmy Dean is doing 40 hours, his hourly rate is 20, we have a sum of 20, total price of $800. The equation is adjusted right down here. Wage cost is 800, the total cost was updated because of that, and now you have your after markup and after profit prices. Moving it on down, you can do the same thing for material, where if you have material in here, say that we're using a laptop, we're using a few Notion templates. If we had these in here, we could say that they're going to be using 18 Notion templates because they get busy on 2 laptops and 4 monitors. And you can see that the total price of $29.20 comes up here to the material cost, $29.20. That's material that we're leaving with the client. If it was a job, we'd leave that wood with you, so that's material. The difference down here are consumables, where if you had something like batteries, they get used up throughout the job. So we'll do ink, we'll do whiteboard, and we'll say that there are 181 whiteboards for whatever reason. They have a lot of writing that they do, and we'll say that these ones are 65 because they're good ink pens. I'm going to update this to pen. So you see the total price. Wow, that was very accurate. And you can see the total price down here. When putting all of this together, your wage cost, material cost, consumable cost, and your hourly rate, you're able to find out your total cost, and then tell yourself what you have to pay in order to make money. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. You should never be less than 10% profit, where if this is what you're doing, you know that you're at least making some money. You're not going broke, but 10% profit if you're given a good job. Well, that's pretty standard. So a good way to use this is if you're working just by yourself, you can remove any of the equipment or materials and basically just use wages. Where, oops, I guess I should have kept Jimmy Dean. Let me close the material links here. We'll delete these because they're not relevant. We're not deleting the original, we're just deleting the link, so that's pretty handy. So if you wanted to figure out how much it costs you, you would say, how many hours is this job going to take? 40 hours. Okay, so we put that in. Jimmy Dean, my hourly rate is 20. If we wanted to adjust it, we could say that his hourly rate is 210. So you see that for 40 hours, if we're charging him 210, we have 8,400. Come up here, your total cost is 8,400. If you want a profit, you have to sell it for that. That's pretty much it. Pretty much what it comes down to. It's completely versatile and it's beautifully built, so anybody can use it. And if you have any materials costs or even just time that you want to figure out what the accurate pricing is, well, this does it for you in both the markup and profit equations. They're a little bit different, like I said, so be sure that you know what those are. Hope this makes sense, and I hope it was interesting. Got a lot more stuff like this.